Never trust a British person.
Well, hello, sinners, and welcome back to the second installment of our positive Dead by Daylight streamer showcase series, working title pending, a series on my channel where we talk about and we showcase some of the amazing members of the Dead by Daylight community. So, last video we took a look at the Fancy Man, and today we'll be talking about Antra. If I had a nickel for every time I enjoyed watching a P100 ace named Joe, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it is kind of weird that it's happened twice. But I guess I gotta keep a lookout for Joes and aces. So, moving on, and with full honesty, I haven't actually watched Antra's content for a very long time, probably less than 2 months or so. Initially, I ended up going into his stream after our match together, mostly to see what his general feelings were about the match. I was a little worried that he would be upset because I felt my gameplay wasn't up to par, and at the very least I wanted to say good game and possibly apologize for the mistakes I did which got him killed. After chatting with him for a little while, going back and forth and just sitting there and enjoying the rest of his matches, there were no hard feelings on Antra's end. He was just, having a good time, as most people do when they play this video game. And in his own words, he was just looking to bang the killer. Since I am often busy either streaming myself or working on some other project, I ended up watching his stream VOD and quickly realized that Antra was a very chill, very funny person. Of course, he would poke and jab at the character, but never really at the person who was actually in control of the situation. He has a very good sense of humor, and much like Fancy, doesn't really sweat the small stuff, as I find myself saying quite a lot these days. So, before I get into the reasons why I ended up sticking around and following Antra, I would like to give you a little rundown on who he is, / what public information I was able to find about him. So, Antra, aka Joe, is a British streamer. I know, the British, can you believe? From what I have found, he's primarily a Survivor player, at least this current era of time, who mains Meg, although he does have a P100 ace as I mentioned previously. He is a creator with a very strong community who is very interactive with his chat. Overall, he has a very warm and welcoming personality. It certainly doesn't hurt that he has a very deep and a very attractive voice. I love an accent. I feel like we should all know this by now. I do want to preface this and let you guys know that I do want to be conscious of Antra's privacy. I didn't want to dig up any old information because you never really know what a person regrets posting online. I am also not going to be using any Twitch clips that had Antra's webcam. I know they are still on his Twitch, but he currently doesn't stream with the webcam on. And while that could just be a current preference at the time, I do want to respect that choice, regardless of the reason. I'd rather be safer than sorry, you know? He calls Michaela the witch. I just think that's really funny. It's also, what she is, but it's very funny. It's very cute. He swears, but not as much as I do. And it's kind of funnier when he swears because he'll say something out of pocket that I've never heard. It's really funny. And then I steal it and it's now my vocabulary. He said, and I quote, "Dead by Daylight is Mario Party with a splash of blood. So my personal favorite is that every time there is a Leon, he calls him the Elsler. I have never felt more insulted and proud of the Leon community than in those moments that I hear, 'Oh man, there's an Elsler.'" I'm so sorry about that accent. I'm keeping it in though, but I'm so sorry. These are the reasons why I ended up sticking around. Number one, right off the bat, I noticed Antra was very funny. One of his more popular things to say is that he is here for a bang, which is essentially just him saying, "I'm here to get flashbang saves." One of his preferred builds is running flashbang with background player, and from what I've noticed, most of the time in his matches, all he wants to do is get the bang save, to bang the killer, if you will. As I've mentioned previously, he has a very calming voice. He has a very deep, smooth cadence on par with David Attenborough. I could definitely see this man being hired to voice over a documentary, like some sort of documentary British people like. But honestly, any documentary would do. Hopefully one about dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs. I would listen to this man tell me dinosaur facts forever. Or he'd voice for a documentary on the life of Dead by Daylight's resident basement dweller. Which is another thing to note. It's going to be like its own subsection here, but he loves the cannibal. He's got a lot of scene transitions with the cannibal dancing and other things like that. And it's just, I don't want to say cute. I don't want to reduce it to that, but it is pretty cute. Everybody has their killer that they're kind of obsessed with. Mine is Michael. His ends up being the cannibal. Let me know what yours is. I'm actually very curious to know. So get in the comments, type right now. Number 3, which is also our last one. Entre uses some minor voice modulation in his streams. The reason that I really like this is that one of my favorite / first Dead by Daylight content creators that I watched is Farmer John. I recommend checking him out as well if you have the time. So Farmer John's gimmick is live editing. He's got tons of different buttons for tons of different things. It is not overstimulating, but it is entertaining. Farmer John has found a perfect balance for that, and I think Entre has also found his balance. Most of what he does is just pitching his voice high and saying little funny things and all that nonsense. He doesn't do it often, so it's kind of like a little surprise. You'll come into his stream and then somebody will end up subbing to him, and then you'll just hear it's free or something like that. That's the best I can do. It is very fun. It does draw you back to his stream when you kind of start zoning out. I have a bit of an attention problem, so I do zone out while I'm doing other things, but then he'll do something like that and I'm like, oh shoot, there he is. So those are really the main reasons why I stuck around to watch his content and to lurk in his streams like a little weirdo, because I'm a weirdo, you see? I'm a little weirdo. Christ. So now I'd like to show you guys a couple of clips that I pulled from his stream. The clip title as well as the person who clipped it will be right underneath the video, so do make sure to take a note of that. Here we go.
No! I forgot it was a slinger. Don't say shit. I forgot it was a slinger. Don't say shit. Forgot it was a fucking slinger. I never check here, right? Yes! Give it to him! Give it to him! Come back. Come back with it. Come back with it. Bring it back.
All right. Now that you've gotten a good taste of Entre and the reasons why I do support him, here are all his community links. I believe his YouTube might be inactive. He hasn't posted in a long time. Regardless, give him a follow on everything. Keep up with him. Show him a little bit of love. I may be a small little dude, but, you know, everything counts. Mwah.
I'm sipping on you like some fine wine, dog. When it's over, I press rewind, dog. Talking bands, I got it. Benjamins in my pocket. I traded my truth for some robins, and he's playing Batman. Freddy's gonna rob him. Yeah. I got the Glock in my